Today we are going to talk about RedTrack and the automation that we created for our users. We will have three parts of the presentation. We'll try to keep it short and sweet. First part, we'll talk about our philosophy towards creating this automation. So what we did, what we plan to do, and what we don't plan to do, and why. Second part, we will feature the traffic sources that are already integrated. We will show you how basic rules work. And in the last part, we will share a big bonus for all RedTrack. Okay, you should see me fine now. For all RedTrack users and participants of this webinar only. So it will not be available in the recording. I'm not sure how we'll pause, but at least maybe we'll try to cut it from the recording. And this will bonus just for you guys. So without much further ado, let's start with this. We closely work with hundreds of affiliates and media buyers on a daily basis, I can say. And we understood, well, we knew them, but we confirmed two very basic assumptions. First, managing campaigns is only about making changes. It's a very important thing. You manage campaigns through making changes. So all automation is about automating those changes. Second thing, the decision quality of making changes is very relevant towards the quality of data. So it's not real time, it's not complete, it is sampled, the decisions might not be accurate. And surprisingly, what we all do as a media buyers is not new. It was first shared almost 100 years ago publicly printed in this book, and you can get this book online. It describes the nature of scientific, for that times, experiment on running advertising campaigns. You basically create a hypothesis, you spend some budget, you get results, you analyze results, you make improvements to campaigns until you find the winning combinations. And that's what most of the affiliate marketers do. So we sit down with some of our very active users who share feedback with us constantly, and we grouped all automation into two big chunks: campaign creation and campaign optimization. So what happened in reality is that campaign creation is very complex, and honestly, you create campaign way less frequently compared to how often you make changes to those campaigns. Moreover, since there are a lot of settings, targetings, they are very different between traffic sources, so it requires a lot of human participation, and potential mock-ups for campaign creation interface were very complex. So they were not saving time compared to campaign optimization. So we focused on the second part, making changes and automating making changes that you do every day. So those changes are change bids, change targeting, change creatives, blacklist placements, and ultimately pause or stop campaign. This covers, at least based on the feedback we already received, covers 90% of work you do. Surprisingly, it's quite easy to automate it if your tool handles big data. And that's what we did. So for us, and this is what RedTrack is and what any ad tracker should be, is we can collect, process, and report all your digital advertising events that happen between impression and campaign goal, whether it's your website, your network partner, your advertiser, for you to make all those data in one place and ability to analyze across all your campaigns or across all your traffic sources. And the most important part is to see consolidated reports. And the very valid question is ad tracking actually necessary? And is automation with trackers necessary? And we'll be very honest, no, it's not. And there are a lot of media buyers who don't use a tracker and they go fine with it. Just because they, hold on, let me go to mute here. Just because you have 3 traffic sources, you can actually use a simple Excel file or Google Sheets and manage this all manually, or you can hire people, each of them having specific skills for Google, for Facebook, for MJD, for Propeller, and run those campaigns without any need to consolidate the whole data in one place. Moreover, you can even use the automation algorithms provided by traffic sources, but there are 2 catches here. Number 1, you don't have access to consolidated reports. So each data is discrete, so decision making is not exactly accurate at this stage. Second, optimization tools provided by each traffic source or they are geared towards the goals of the traffic source. And their goal is very simple. We want to have as much of your budget as possible. And here enters, I can say, tracker. So with ad tracking, you can actually remove the whole layer of manual work when people go back and forth between a tracker or an Excel file or, I don't know, or conversion report in your affiliate network. Cut and paste non-performing placements, blacklist those placements across campaigns, etc., etc. These simple tasks can be automated. And more importantly, we all people, so we have to go to sleep sometimes. And even if we sleep 6 to 7 hours a day, it's still at least 25% of this day. So 25% of time, you have no idea what's going on with your campaign. So if anything happens in the middle of the night, from a campaigns just going high on spend and you're wasting money, or the offer going down and you send traffic to nowhere, or people just stop converting for whatever reasons, or you receive a lot of fraud traffic. So all these reasons can cost you a lot of money, and you honestly want to stop it automatically from happening. And that's why a lot of you are asking for mobile app to check campaigns on the go, and this is something coming in October. However, even better, that automation is already available and we'll keep expanding it. So for us, automation is making changes across multiple traffic sources based on a unified set of data, basically the data you have in ad tracking. And you'll ask me, hey, Vlad, this very obvious idea, why nobody else did this before? I'll tell you why, because to do this, a tracker needs to handle quite a few challenges. I won't jump into bigger discussions into what is actually huge volumes, but I do know that a lot of people share feedback with us when switching to RedTrack from self-hosted solutions. Hey guys, we can finally work with reports when we have, I don't know, 200, 300, half a billion, maybe a billion of events in the reporting window. RedTrack actually shows data. In order to keep all those automation and monitoring live across all the campaigns of all the customers, it should be a very sophisticated, high-load friendly technology. Otherwise, we were expensive, which we don't want to do. And before recently, it was just not even available on the market. So even 3 years ago, there wasn't that many SaaS trackers, those that can actually handle high load. I guess, the 1 or 2 that were available 3 years ago. Anyway, for us, that's how we see the life of media buyer. Everybody wants to do this. Create angles, think of new offers, think of the best way to get better conversions, but 90% of the time goes into this. What you want to do is want to automate your daily operations as much as possible, leaving you total control about the level of this automation and the rules of this automation. So speaking about your daily operations, it's your traffic measurement and verification. That's what we did already. It's data sharing and reporting. We actually created and will keep expanding the set of dashboards and report presets for our users, including shared access to reports for your employees or for your advertising partners. Now we are working on ad campaign optimization, and we'll soon proceed to working with audits. For ad campaign optimization, we did very simple things. Read costs automatically for those traffic sources that are not passing the costs within each click, making you able to create rules for pausing campaigns automatically. And soon you'll also see the ability to blacklist placements or pause specific creatives automatically. By rules, we understand two things. It is either performance, like conversion rates, return on investment, something like this, or it's quality, because we have a built-in quality monitoring tool that can be used to as a criteria, like for example, the level of fraud traffic. You get 10% of fraud traffic for a specific publisher, just block it. Maybe 20%, just block it. So these are current approach to automating ad tracking. And if you have any questions before we proceed to the interface part, it's the best time to type them in into our small chat within YouTube and share them with us. Okay, I'm checking if there are any questions. Okay, so and since we're with a delay, questions should appear just now. Let me give you guys a couple of more moments. Okay, looks like we have no questions at the moment. So let us jump to the RedTrack interface. Again, new stuff we have added recently. Besides fraud reports, so rules, this is something we were talking about, and also update costs, which is now automated for integrated traffic sources, and auto optimization for streams. So like if you have multiple offers, you can switch on auto optimization based on each, say, 100 conversions. Right now it works based on the conversion rate, but the early adopters of this feature said that getting it on other KPIs like return on investment would be even better. So we are adding the list of criteria to be used for auto optimization. Very simple, basic feature, and gives great results. Right now, we're more talking about traffic sources. We currently have just a few of them integrated via API, but this list is growing daily, and honestly, we have more traffic sources in the backend as usual than in the front end, because each of them requires a specific approach to authorization. How can you identify which traffic sources are integrated? You go to traffic sources, click new, and you see we slightly changed this interface, and so we have this integrated as an option. You click it, and you see only integrated traffic sources. So we have Ref Content, Facebook, Propeller Ads, Bing, MJD, ExactClick, and Google Ads. 5 more is on the way, and stay tuned for updates. We'll try to push them live as fast as possible. We also will feature exactly what features are available for integration. So this is not updated. We'll update it after the webinar because more integration options are available already. To create a connection between the traffic source and RedTrack, you need to go to Tools, Integrations, Traffic Sources, and just add either Google Ad ID or ref content data or MJD data or propellers data or exact-click data. This is sufficient. Just don't forget to click Save after you add this data to initiate the integration. After this, all you need to do is you go to campaigns. Okay, let's do this test campaign. We go to rules and we create a new rule. So pause campaign. So if our return on investment less than say 100% for the last 1,000 clicks, or maybe conversions, or maybe hours, you set the rules. You pause campaign and send email notification alert. What will grow is the list of criteria, the list of options, and the list of ways to send notifications. We have email for now, or Telegram is coming next, and then we actually looking to get your feedback. What are the means of communications besides our own application you'd like to get? But honestly, that's it. We created a framework that will allow you to set up rules. Since we are integrated by API, we have tons of information about your accounts based on the IDs that we receive automatically for all your tracking URLs. So we know what campaign to pause, what placement to blacklist, what creative to pause, etc. when rules kick in. It's your goal and your best understanding how to set up these rules. So we encourage you to give it a try. See if the set of criteria is sufficient for you, and of course share feedback with us, RedTrack team, how we can improve this further. Honestly, we have a list of 15 integrations that we are working on right now. You see 5 in here, 10 more are being cooked as we speak. I can see developers, hi guys, are working on them right now. Zero Park coming next, I guess. But just 15. There is more than 50 traffic sources in our list of templates. So please share with us what traffic sources you'd like to see integrated to, because based on your feedback, will shape the next 15 or 20 or 50 traffic sources we want to integrate by the end of the year. That's it. This is Vlad from RedTrack. We covered the RedTrack approach to automation of media buying through API integration with traffic sources. We checked how it works in RedTrack between identifying integrated traffic source like this. This list will grow by creating an API connection between a traffic source and your account in this traffic source, and by creating a rule that will allow you to say pause campaign if some of the criteria that you set will be monitored in the given period of clicks, conversions, or hours. Now, we also mentioned 2 other features that we have added recently, one being auto optimization for streams, and the other one being nice dashboards that will just keep on improving. So it's now colorful, nice 4 charts that you can change. We added biggest changes, and we added all this data into a couple of groupings, like by source, by campaign, by date, just to see some overall view into your account performance. Now, that's just the beginning. We have quite a few exciting updates for the next week. 2 features that are not due will be published, and we'll cover them in the next webinar. For now, that's all the presentation. We don't want to take much of your time, and I'm ready to answer questions. I can see the chat, and feel free to ask.